I'm Matt Towery for InsiderAdvantage, the Southern Political Report, and the Internet News Agency. We're looking at the Michigan primary tonight. And before we look at the results in the Michigan primary, let's look at what the polls said going into the Michigan primary. A Reuters C-SPAN Zogby poll, one of the last polls to be shown on Real Clear Politics, the definitive source for looking at all of the results that all of us in the polling business showed the following. Tricia Ruggiero, you're sitting in tonight again for Aileen Page. Why don't you tell folks what those numbers were?
Well, McCain came in with 27%, Romney at 26%, and Huckabee at 15%.
And we want to make our viewers aware, of course, these are not the results from Michigan. That's what the Reuters C-SPAN Zogby poll was showing going into that important Republican contest. And also, for a moment, let's just talk about South Carolina, where it's really getting heated up. We've been talking about the fact that the comments made by Hillary Clinton and former President Clinton regarding issues over the Obama campaign, Clinton being accused of calling it a fairy tale, and of course Senator Clinton being accused of saying that it took Lyndon Johnson to implement Martin Luther King's dream, have turned into a major conflagration. We talked about the fact yesterday that in fact you would see Barack Obama going into Atlanta to the Ebenezer Baptist Church on Sunday, sort of precluding and preempting everyone else. Well, that's now been confirmed in other news sources. So once again, InsiderAdvantage and the Southern Political Report ahead of the turn on this, and that's going to be a critical thing to be looking at this weekend. We know the region of the country well, and we know that the racial politics that's beginning to heat up, regardless of what you hear from the candidates, is significant. With that in mind, let's tell them what the latest Rasmussen poll said with regard to South Carolina. What were those numbers, Tricia?
Obama was at 38% and Clinton was at 30%.
At 30%. So that means relatively tight race in South Carolina. And on the Republican side, prior to tonight's Michigan primary results, you had Rasmussen showing 28% for McCain, 18% for Huckabee, and 17% for Romney. Not good news for either one of those two candidates. Now, as we know, going into this race was going to be critical for Mitt Romney to pull out a win. And Tricia, you're going to be leaving the set in just a moment, but thank you for joining us this evening. I'll be anchoring the rest of this tonight without Tricia or Aileen, but we will be talking with hopefully Tom Baxter and some of the rest of our crew, so you can find out what Michigan means as we go in to the most aggressive polling that InsiderAdvantage has ever done in the history of this country. And we'd like to think we're that important. I don't think we're that important, do you?
I think we maybe.
I think we feel like we are in the history of this company as we go and look at South Carolina and Florida. Every single day we'll be polling in Florida for the Florida Chamber of Commerce, several polls, and also polling in South Carolina for several news organizations as well, as we try to give you an exact look at where those races are headed. Of course, South Carolina and Florida are sweet spots for the InsiderAdvantage. We've polled there for many years, and with great degrees of accuracy. Of course, you can always be wrong. Hopefully, we won't be this time. But thanks for joining me, Tricia, on set, and stay tuned as we give you our analysis of these results that are coming in from Michigan.